This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. We're here in Jeddah and I'm joined by Eddie Hearn. Big man ting! Eddie, did you enjoy your interview with Castillo the other day?
Rob Sebbert said to me, this is going to be massive. Actually, the response has been unbelievable. It's just dropping in a couple of hours, right? Yeah.
7 p.m. UK.
Okay, how many views is it going to do, Andy? I have no idea.
Overall, across all platforms, millions.
Yeah? Well, I'm a big name.
You haven't shared it.
All right, yeah. No, I will do. When it comes out, I'll share it, yeah.
You know,
The funny thing, which I'm still trying to get, because the clip that you guys put out was, he goes, I like the MILFs, the Susans. My mum is called Susan. I hope he didn't know that, because if he will, I will chin him next time I see him. But that was, yeah, so it was an interesting interview, put it that way.
He's an interesting guy, but he's a good guy at that. But away from the interview, for everybody as well, tune in at 7 p.m. for that one. Usyk Joshua 2 is finally here. Eddie, I've spoken to people throughout this week. Yeah, have you? Most recently?
I'll show you.
Okay. Eddie's trying to prove a point, yeah.
You said that, and I was like, I'm sure I should. There you go.
So he shared it on his story. He couldn't retweet it though.
I'll retweet it as well, don't worry.
Cheers, Eddie. But yes, here, Usyk Joshua 2. I've spoken to a few people, Eddie, and some have suggested this very much is make or break for AJ. If he doesn't come through with a victory, it's where does his career go? Is it as deep as that?
He's fighting the pound for pound number one. I see all these comments, oh, AJ should retire if he loses. Like, of course, we don't want to lose. And he's going all out for victory. But, like, if you lose to the pound for pound number one, and you're still fresh within your career, you still love the sport, you're hungry, why would you even consider retiring? It's people with an agenda. Like, anyway, we're here to win. AJ is the B-side, we're the B-side. I want to feel like an opponent. You know why? Because we come into this fight with nothing. AJ has nothing. This is a smash and grab routine to nick and steal all the world heavyweight titles and become a 3-time world champion. That is the operation and the plan this week. It's exciting. For years and years, AJ's been like that performing seal, hasn't he? The roadshow, going around, you know, filling up Wembley, filling up Madison Square Garden, Millennium Stadium, Riyadh, all these places. Now, let Usyk. Usyk's the champ, pound for pound number one, the man. AJ's the underdog, we're the B-side, no problem. If you ain't rocking with AJ this week, I don't even want to talk to you, right? Because this is what it means. He's got to go in this fight with that mentality. And if he does, I believe he knocks this guy out. It's going to be a very tough fight. Usyk's a genius. But how exciting. Pressure's off, mate. For years, you've been carrying British boxing on your shoulders, filling up these venues, providing big undercards, all these big nights. Now, people write you off. You're the underdog. Go and win this fight, smash and grab, world champion again.
Speaking to Buddy McGirt last week, he said that Robert Garcia will introduce that pitbull mentality into Anthony Joshua. From your conversations with him, have you felt that around AJ, that he's got that kind of the aggressive nature within him, that pitbull style that he wants to bring out?
Did I just hear you go, was that you?
No, you didn't. That was not me, Eddie. It might have been Parsons.
Okay, yeah. No, I think, look, AJ's not that guy that you can just get in his ear roll and go, you're a pitbull, AJ, you're a pit, like, there's got to be a plan. There's got to be and the problem in the first fight is I don't think the plan was either there or it was good enough. And I don't think he was a believer. He has to believe in what he's doing. For the AJ Ruiz 2 fight, he believed in the plan. He executed the plan. This is a much tougher fight than Andi Ruiz 2, okay? But if there's a plan, and against Usyk, you have to have the ability to adapt. And you've got to be shouted at and you've got to be told in the corner if things aren't going your way. And Robert will do that. I have full faith in that. I believe they've got a great game plan, and I believe if the game plan needs to change or evolve during the fight, Robert will get in his face, get in his ear. Because we can't fuck it up. One chance here to win this fight. One chance to get your belts back. You may never get this chance again. So make it count. And being in that moment and hearing that advice at the right time, you know, getting that bit of motivation, that noise at the right time, getting that positivity at the right time can turn a fight. And that's the role of a cornerman. And that's the role Robert Garcia will play this weekend. And the atmosphere among the team, the belief among the team, it's all there. You've heard it all before. Camp's gone great. Everyone's feeling great. All true. It's about the game plan and execution on the night. Last time, it was the wrong one and it wasn't executed. The right one wasn't executed. This time, we've got to make it count.
I've seen your interviews where you've suggested AJ could win this within the first 6 rounds and he has to put it on.
Could win this fight in the first round, Andy. But I believe this fight is won in the first 6 rounds. By the time that bell goes for the end of 6 rounds, I want this fight over, or I want Usyk damaged and in a place that he wishes he was never in. You let this guy get into his rhythm, you let this guy mentally drain you, you let this guy do things with your feet you never should be doing and you can't believe you're doing, you lost the fight. The first fight, AJ allowed him to get to that back half comfortable, in the rhythm. Almost the fight was lost after 6 rounds at Spurs. Now you've got to win the fight in the first 6 rounds. I'm not saying if it gets to round 7, he's not going to win the fight, but I want to see Usyk go back to his corner with the look on his face to say, fuck this.
This show being promoted on Sky Sports and on Sky Sports box office about Eddie, what would be your predicted number on pay-per-view for him?
I don't know. I mean, the first fight, I think 700,000, 750, like, it's difficult. It's not in the UK. Obviously, AJ hasn't been in the UK. It was announced very late. I know there's a price increase as well, but it's a big fight, you know. So I want to, somewhere around the same kind of levels. I'd expect. AJ's a huge draw. It's a great fight. I'm sure it'll do great numbers.
What's your relationship been like with Sky in the build-up to this?
Nothing really. We weren't involved in the process. People said, "Are you going to give them interviews?" I've done, Andy. I've never turned an interview down. I've done 50 interviews so far since I've been here today. I haven't done one with Sky, they haven't asked me yet. As soon as they ask me, I'll be there to do it, if they ask me at all. But they need to sell pay-per-views, and there's no one better at selling pay-per-views than me. So my job is to make sure I promote the fight, I give all my time to any broadcaster that wants it. Sky, DAZN. Sky have got it in the UK, DAZN have got it in 190 countries worldwide. Other broadcasters in Ukraine and Armenia. So of course, we've got a great relationship with Sky across a number of other sports. We left our boxing agreement and probably didn't go down very well, but we move, as the kids say.
What was the delay in announcing the zone for the US and amongst other territories?
I wasn't involved in that process. So just, they only announced the UK broadcaster 3 weeks ago. They announced the rest of the world broadcasters yesterday or the day before. So it's very late in the day. Saudi own those global rights, so they went through their own individual process of selling those. But we're all there, ready to go, all set.
Ring Magazine title is also on the line now. How much of an added incentive does that offer?
It's a massive incentive because it's a belt AJ's always wanted to win. He would have rather beat Tyson Fury for it, but at the same time, great to see that belt on the line.
Has Tyson retired?
Maybe. I mean, he's more than within his rights to retire. But also at the same time, I hope he doesn't, because when AJ wins on Saturday, I want him to come out of retirement for the 364th time and fight AJ. But we'll see.
You said Eubank Jr-Benn is potentially the biggest fight for this year so far, but just say Fury Joshua, how would that...
Yeah, that's not just the biggest fight this year. That's the biggest fight in the history of boxing, if AJ wins on Saturday. But right now, Eubank Benn, by far the biggest fight of the year. I've never seen anything like it, honestly, anything like it.
We'll come on to that shortly, but just on this one, Ben Whittaker, where will he be appearing on the card?
I think there's 12 fights. I think he's third or fourth fight on. Ramla Ali as well on. I think Ramla's on 3 or 4 fights after Ben. Then we've got, obviously, Callum Smith in a world title eliminator, final eliminator against Borderleague, really good fight. Filip Hrgovic against Ile Zhang, final eliminator for the world heavyweight title. So a couple of big fights for our stable.
What time should people expect the main event?
Somewhere between 10 and 11 p.m. start time.
And just moving forward, as we touched on Eubank Jr-Benn, we spoke about it at the press conference, but there's been some more talk about weights and what have you. Spencer Oliver said on TalkSport that he believes that there's only a £5 rehydration clause in place for Eubank Jr. Can you?
Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I mean, look, I think I don't really want to talk about the weights on the rehydration, but what I will tell you is it's around or below the IBF next day weighing, but it's more than £5.
How excited are you for that fight?
I mean, I knew this fight was big, but I've never seen people and so many different generations, because you've got all the ones who watched the first fight. Now you've got the younger generation who are following these two's career. It's just an absolute monster. I think it's the biggest pay-per-view in this country I've ever done, and I can't wait for October 8th.
If Conor comes through, how does that accelerate his career? Where does his name go from there?
If he comes through with a victory, which I believe he will, he's a superstar, and I believe he does the business.
Final one, Eddie, because I imagine you're about to shoot off and catch up with AJ. Just tell everybody what to expect on Saturday, and also why they should tune in at 7 o'clock to watch the video with yourself and Castillo.
Oh well, that's must-see TV. But on to AJ, a great guy, a real competitor, someone who wants to win so badly, someone that's never ducked a challenge, going in again back-to-back with a pound-for-pound #1, and I believe on Saturday he becomes the world heavyweight champion for the 3rd time.
Well, Eddie Hearn, as always, thank you.
Cheers, mate.